Hello, and welcome to the 7 Powerful Principles to Becoming an Influencer, Innovator, and a Change Maker, and creating positive change on earth and, of course, your bank account. I'm Janine Howard, and I'm from Iconic Empires, a place where we help female entrepreneurs become the biggest version of themselves and make massive change in the world by learning to speak their message. So today is a free training for you. If you are someone who is really looking to get clear on your big purpose here in the world, and then of course speak it out to the world. You know, you're here if you want to create a movement. If you see something in the world that you really want to change and you want to be that powerful influencer to help make that change. Now, over my years in media, which we'll get to my experience in a moment, but these are the 7 things that I have found are absolutely crucial for you to get your message out into the world and to actually go and make a difference. So let's get stuck into today's training. I am not one of these people who like to gab on a little bit too much and waste your time. So we're going to jump straight into today's training. So I suggest clear everything off, turn off Facebook, turn off your emails, put your mobile on silent, and let's get to it. Grab a pen and paper, and let's talk about the 7 powerful principles to becoming an influencer, innovator, and a change maker. So to start with, let's jump into, well, what is an influencer? Now, in today's market, influencer marketing has kind of been termed for people who perhaps, showcase the latest handbags and pop it on Instagram and have people go and buy it because they think it's wonderful. But I actually think an influencer is someone that's far more powerful than that. If you look up the dictionary, it'll say one who can affect or to sway, or someone who can influence others to make change. Now, that's what I believe is the most important thing. Someone who can influence others to make change. And when I say that, it's not through sales techniques. It's not through, mind techniques, NLP, anything like that. We really want people to make change because they see the value in doing it. It's like we want influence to be the people who wake people up in the world to what truly is possible and to what truly is important. So as we go through this training today, I really want you to think about an influencer as someone who's affecting change. Now, that change could be in your local community. It could be on a global scale. It could just be within your own family. So whatever that change is, it's you doing something in the form of positive for the world. And to really define what that is for you, what I recommend you do is think about what your moonshot is. Now, a moonshot is not, a trajectory to the moon, but with a rocket. It's actually more about, it's a term that I heard recently from a global leaders summit that was held. And someone who'd been at the summit was talking about this moonshot. And it's really about how you can, what your purpose is that can influence 1 billion people. What is that massive goal that you could contribute towards that really makes change to, say, 1 billion people on this planet? That would be your moonshot. And your moonshot is that thing that gets you out of bed knowing that your purpose is greater than you. Now, remember, your moonshot might be that you're here to change children's education in the world, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go out and overhaul the entire education system globally and worldwide. For one person, that is pretty much a feat that I'm not going to say can't be done, but is very difficult to do. So that might be that you start with your own children. And then you start influencing people around you. And then you start influencing the local schools. And then you might get bigger and bigger. It could just be that you go to the top and you grab a whole bunch of entrepreneurs who are also trying to change the global education system and get on board with them somehow. But it's about having a very clear vision of what you're here to do so that you're pulled towards that vision each and every day. And with entrepreneurs too, can tend to be quite scatterbrained about the different programs that we're running or things that we're involved in. So your moonshot is that one constant that still draws you towards it with a very clear vision or end goal. And I want that end goal for you to be, you know, what we would sometimes call a big, hairy, audacious goal, your BHAG goal, like that goal that seems so huge and astronomical that it can only pull you towards it. And even if you don't reach that goal, you're getting halfway there. You know, so they say, you know, reach for the stars and you'll reach the moon. So what is your moonshot? So I want you to take that time down, whether to write it now or just even write that question. What is my moonshot? And I want you to journal on that later on and really find what that is. And if you're not sure on what that is right now, have it in the back of your mind. You know, keep asking yourself, what is my moonshot? What is my moonshot? What is that thing that I stand for? What is that thing that really, you know, agitates you? Or, you know, as we Aussies say, what gets you gauche? You know, what's that thing that makes you feel like you've got to do something about it? So what's your moonshot? And take a look at these people here. So we've got Oprah Winfrey there. We've got Gabrielle Bernstein, Louise Hay, you know, bless her soul. We've got Richard Branson and Lewis Howes. These are just some examples of people that I popped on here who are very clear about their moonshot. You know, look at Richard Branson, for example, like literally traveling to the moon is his moonshot. You know, but above and beyond that, each of these people become bigger and greater than themselves because their mission in purpose is so defined for them. It's so clear to others, and they influence so many people because of that passion and power behind it. If you don't know these people, go and Google them. I'm sure you should know them. But Lewis Howes might be one that some people aren't as familiar with. He's sort of more of a recent entrepreneurial influencer on the scene with his School of Greatness podcast. But he's also got some really great causes. He's very much about wanting to provide educational resources for all children across the globe. So I think it's Pencils for a Cause or something like that. Is, you know, he actually gives $1 for each person who subscribes to his podcast or something along that lines. You know, when you get to a point of being, you know, an Oprah or a Gabrielle, you are at mega influencer level. You know, Oprah only has to suggest a book and, you know, it becomes a bestseller within a couple of hours. But these people all are doing this role for good, for greater change on earth. So imagine if you can become as powerful an influencer and a change maker as some of these people. You know, the rewards of that are, you know, numerous. You know, obviously you've got fulfillment from making change in the world. But then you've got all the other things that come with it. You know, a deep sense of self-satisfaction, growth opportunities. And look, let's be honest, it does transform your bank account as well. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about profit in this video training today, but I don't want you to see profit as just the dollars. Like, I don't want you to go into this trying to be an influencer so you can make lots of money, right? So I think we all get that that's coming from the wrong intention. You know, going into this about becoming an influencer and a change maker for positive change to other people in the world, or, you know, earth, or, you know, the natural environment, whatever that may be, the money comes because of you stepping up to be an influencer and a change maker. Like, I cannot stress this more. You know, I've been there. I've been there. You know, whenever I've done things because I think it's going to make a lot of money, sometimes, yes, it does make some great money, but it can leave you empty. Or you'll get to a point that the money starts to turn off because you're not really living up to your true purpose and calling. So, you know, really sink into that if your goals in life are just to make lots of money, know that it's a far harder road than if your goals in life are to be aligned to your moonshot, or in other words, aligned to your purpose and mission, something that's greater than you, because that's the thing that really pulls you up. It energizes you. It gets you out of bed. It gets you, thinking above and beyond the ups and downs that come with the entrepreneurial journey, just like these people have done. All of these people, if you have a look at their stories, like there's some big ups, but there's some big downs. And, look at these people too. It's not to say that they're never going to have any downs anymore. Like, that's growth. The contrast is where we find the learnings from. So think about that through this journey of becoming an influencer and a change maker, that it's not about the money. A Jessie J song just popped into my head then, so forgive me for having a little sing. But, why become an influencer? Look, it's about aligning to your authentic purpose. It's about changing people's lives and uniting the globe. We hear a lot, we are one, we are many. Like, it's, that was a Qantas song in Australia. But, we really are one. When you get to, dive really deep into spirituality, you will see that we are literally all one as a soul, as a spirit, as a universe and connectedness. So becoming an influencer is helping other people reach that level, if this is what your belief is, like it is mine. Becoming an influencer, you get to make an impact. You get to create a legacy. We're actually in an exponential state of change on this earth, and we need innovators and change makers to lead us. The world is looking for leaders at the moment. We're going to go into a little bit about what that exponential state of change is, but just have a look around you, whether it's technology, spirituality, the environment. We're in a massive state of change, and we really need you to step up as a leader. And of course, becoming an influencer, it's not about sacrifice. You do get to change your own life and for those you love, whether that's in fulfillment, in gratitude, in peace, in harmony, living in flow, whether that is abundance for wealth for you and others. All of these wonderful things come when you finally step up and become that influencer, change maker, and innovator that you were born to be. And there's never been a better time. Now, in the next 5 to 30 years, it will be the most lucrative entrepreneurial window you'll ever see. This was a quote by one of the globe's leaders in coaching management, and she was basically saying that it's exponential, the entrepreneurial opportunities. If we look at it the other way, think about all of the traditional jobs that we think of, whether it's from a secretary to a doctor, even to a teacher. A lot of these roles will possibly end up being completely obsolete within the next 5 to 30 years. Now, 5 years, it doesn't sound like it's, too far away, but the rate of change that our technology and, robotics is coming in, everything's getting streamlined. We've got softwares that can do a huge amount of these jobs now. Yes, of course, there'll always be an essence of, humanness and, human contact that is required. But think about that there are going to be, the job world just in itself is going to be so different in the next 30 years. And, if you're not starting to think about being an entrepreneur, maybe you should, because, there will be so many job roles that we don't even comprehend what they are right now. And they usually stem from being an entrepreneur. And then, without going to that section too much, there is also a new energetic shift in the earth, which has created the opportunity for powerful, positive change. If you haven't heard of 5D, go and Google it. That's all I'll say for the moment now, because we're on limited time today. But who am I to tell you about being an influencer? Well, so my name is Janine Howard. I have been in the magazine and media industry for 15 years plus. I personally have published and started many magazines myself and reached hundreds of thousands of people through my magazines, through my readers, and really inspired people to create change. prior to actually being in magazines, my mission was also to create change, and that was actually through the environment and educating people about the environment. I am a biologist by trade. I went to university to study to be a secondary teacher and got disenfranchised by the education system. So I decided to go out into the public, like go out into the travel industry and become a tour guide, like a professional tour guide. And I actually have spent many years tour guiding in the Daintree National Park. I also lived on beautiful Heron Island, which is a gorgeous coral isle in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef, and I've lived out there. And on a daily basis I've educated the everyday person how to respect and learn about our natural environment. I've even written a white paper on the power of interpretive tourism in wildlife parks across Australia, and their impact in literally creating change to that everyday person when they leave that environment. So creating change, teaching, inspiring people has been my absolute passion always. It just come through many different mediums. So went from educating people about the environment to now being a success coach, educating and inspiring female entrepreneurs across the world to become their best selves and to become influencers and speak their message. So I've influenced thousands to be their best selves. I've built more than $500,000 empires, multiple ones at that. Talk about being a true entrepreneur. I have done a lot of different things, but at the core of it, it's about having you become the best version of yourself. Look, and I've learnt from the best. I've interviewed celebrities and high-profile people, and found out what their keys to success are, and found out what their keys are to being an influencer and a change maker. And of course, I've invested thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in my own personal development, surrounded myself by coaches, mentors, clients, and really got this quest for knowledge to learn what really makes someone an influencer. So my mission today is to teach and inspire you to become aligned with your true self so that you can finally speak the message you're here to deliver, to have the impact you're worthy of, and to change the world for better. It is my mission to have you play full out as the iconic leader and influencer you're born to be. And, with that statement, I really believe that each and every one of you are here for a reason that is greater than yourself. And I hope that you find that for yourself, because there's nothing like it once you hit the nail on the head of what you're here to do. The world opens up, the riches of the world open up. Now my personal cause is to impact 1 billion people on the planet, to live consciously, to raise conscious, innovative, change-making children. Look, they're our future. They're going into unknown territory, and they're going to need to be fully equipped, emotionally clear. They're going to need to be raised as entrepreneurs. We can't just send them off to school and expect them to be taught how to do a task anymore. They need to rationalize and be individuals and find out their true, authentic self, so that we can move towards a world that allows each human being to live out their full potential. Look, and for me, it's about from birth and even preconception, pre-birth. It's about conscious parenting. It's about raising conscious children, raising entrepreneurs. And I'm on a personal quest to do this because I've got 2 children myself. I've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And, I said to my husband the other day, if in 20 years' time we can see our children living like this, if we can see our children being leaders, and they don't need to be global leaders, but somehow leading and influencing others in a positive way, our job is done. That really at the end of the day is my job is done. But I'm all about growth. So, we'll also impact 1 billion people. And that 1 billion people is not me on my own. That is me with you. That is me with you impacting people, you then helping others to become influencers, and so on and so on. It's that ripple effect. So this is my moonshot. Now, let's get into how. How do you become an influencer and a leader? So I know some of you are going, oh, look, you know, there's so much noise in the online market. There's so many people going, oh, look at me, look at me. You know, it's hard to break through. It really, really is in this crowded online market. Then, of course, there's the inner work and the emotional beliefs and the layers that need to come off for you to even allow yourself to become that influencer, to allow yourself to be free from judgment of others and to really step up and be visible to be a leader. You know, that self-belief and inner trust that you can do this. And of course, you know, how do I do this? How do I do this? I hear this all the time from my clients, but how? I just pause for a moment. Don't worry about the hows. It's the vision, the moonshot that pulls you through. And also the huge area I see is lack of clarity. You know, most of us, I mean, look, I'm in my early 40s now and I'm like only just getting clear on what my moonshot is and what my purpose is, but that's okay. You know, we spend a lot of our time in the day-to-day, you know, with the clutter of our minds. So this is a great opportunity for you to get clear what it is that you're here for. So how to become an influencer and a leader? Well, the opportunities here are getting clarity on your message and purpose, that the online world is at our fingertips. You know, you could be sitting at home and, you know, making massive change and creating a big movement just from your lounge room. And people are really desperate for change and answers. They're really looking for leaders. Also, to remember there is an abundance of wealth available to each and every one of us. So if you're an influencer, you'll get access to that abundance of wealth and help other people get access to that as well. You know, the opportunities here are also that science and research, there's so many tools available to us these days. Like, you don't have to do a Google search, watch a YouTube video. We have so much knowledge available to us. And you know, science, for example, is, you know, I'm a scientist and I would be the first to say that science is so linear. You know, there's a whole other world of spirituality, like going back. It's actually not New Age. It's going back to, you know, Eastern cultures and, you know, ancient wisdom that is now resurfacing for us to become use that for good to go forth in the world and create more of this unitedness or oneness. And of course, we're moving into that new energetic age of the fifth dimension of the world, which is based on love and abundance, whereas the third dimension, which we're moving out of, is actually based on fear and greed and lack. So look, it's a really wonderful time. And even if you don't feel like it, there is major opportunities for you to become that influencer and leader. So let's get into the 7 powerful principles to becoming an influencer, innovator, and change maker. First off, purify. Now, this one here is one that I feel is missing from a lot of trainings. Now, I'm just going to read out what I've written here about what purify means to me. And it's about moving towards the highest version of you by getting clean, eliminating toxins from your environment, clearing off your energetic chakra, clearing out your energetic chakras, peeling off the layers of emotional baggage and uncovering the most iconic version of you. At the end of the day, what this means is finding your true self, right? So your true self is hidden by layers of toxins, by emotional baggage, by beliefs, by societal conditioning. All of this is on top of us and detracts us from getting in touch with our intuition, that inner voice that is so clear. That inner voice, you can, you know, get instantaneous answers when you can clear all of this stuff off. So, you know, some of the work that you need to do to get to purify your world, you know, this is something that I'm really have been so intense on doing in my world over the last few years, and that's meditation, journaling, even free writing, cleaning up your food, cleaning up your health, adding in movement and exercise. You know, we've incorporated, my husband and I, yoga in each morning, overlooking the beautiful Sunshine Coast hinterland each day. do the emotional clearing work. That's whether it's having a coach to walk you through healings. It's whether it's getting Reiki or whether it's kinesiology, all of these wonderful modalities, acupuncture, all of this that are at our fingertips, that are actually there to help us get aligned. When there's so much coming at us all of the time. So the mental chatter, the social media updates, the emails, all of this creates emotional stress. And emotional stress creates hormones through our body. And those hormones are what are usually responsible for disease or unease in our bodies. And you only have to look around the world at the moment, see the huge numbers of, cancers and heart disease and all of this illness that we are literally manifesting with our thoughts. So the inner work needs to be done along the way, if not before, as soon as you possibly can. The inner work is so important to be able to get aligned, to hear your intuition, and to tap into your inner truth and your calling. And of course, there's the outer work as well. Literally cleansing your environment, and I don't just mean decluttering. I mean ridding your house of those toxins, chemicals. We don't need them. Everything from, what we put on our bodies and put in our bodies, we really don't need all of those things and those chemicals going in us. We have no idea what they actually, well, we do actually have really good idea what they're doing to us. They're causing disease, unease, disease in our body. So clear it off, get into essential oils. I use essential oils on an absolute daily basis, not just for, for their aromatic benefits, but for, putting into foods, putting into capsules. It keeps me healthy. I don't even say the other part, but I'm always healthy because of getting rid of those toxins and keeping my body clean. And obviously your vibe, your tribe affects your vibe. Think about who you're surrounding yourself by. Is it time to clear away from people that may be bringing you down? They say that the 5 closest people to us are the ones who influence us the most. So have a think about who you're spending most of your time with. Getting back to nature. We live in such a sterile, environment these days that, we need to be getting out and lying on the sand, lying on the grass, hugging a tree, getting back into that very high vibe, energetic nature of nature, Mother Earth, and balancing your chi. There's so many ways. Chi is energy, so balancing your energy. Now, I'm saying to you that each of these 7 steps needs each other. So number 1 is Purify, and it's so crucial along your journey to becoming an influencer. The number 2 step in becoming an influencer is your purpose. So getting in alignment with yourself and the universe to uncover your true calling and purpose, uncover your message and unique solution for the world. This is where a lot of us run into a trap of not really being clear. So do number 1, number 2 gets easier. So here's some ways that you can uncover your purpose. Now, there could be a whole entire workshop on this. I'm just going to run through this fairly quickly. But, what did you love doing as a kid? Like, what did you do that you did for fun? For me, for example, what I did for fun was I put on shows. I did dance performances. I created my own radio shows. I sung. I, talked. I was very clear about, I want you to hear me, right? I've got something to say. So it's, not much has changed. And, I've had my own radio show, and I've had my, been on TV, and I've been a tour guide and a, public speaker and an author. So all of these things, those things I've just mentioned, they don't feel like work to me because I love doing them, love doing it as a kid. What feels good? Like, again, what lights you up? You are allowed to do your work's purpose about what feels good for you. In fact, like, that's where you should be doing it. You know, whenever we feel joyous and most happy, you know, instead of that grind. Of course, in business, we're going to have to do the hustle every now and again, but if it feels good, then you're on the right path, in flow. Also, to write down what your core values are. You know, what are even the words that come up for you? Write them down. You know, just jot down now core values and see what comes up for you. You know, is it integrity, honesty? You know, what is it for you that your core values are? Because that will give you huge clues on what it is that you're here, your message in the world. And what are you known for? Like, if you asked other people, what am I known for? What would they say? You know, are you known as that person who helps people find their why? Are you that person who helps people, you know, with their technology? Are you that kind of person? You know, what is the thing that you're really known for? That gives you massive clues of what you could be an influencer. Remember too, an influencer, there's so many areas to be an influencer in that has sometimes indirect benefit to changing the world for good. So what is it that you're known for? And what I love to do is say to my clients, go and ask 5 people to tell you 5 words about you that they think about. Go and do this on Facebook. You know, go and ask people, put it out there. And I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised about what comes back for you. And sometimes others can see in us what we can't really see or choose not to see for ourselves. And lastly, what legacy do you want to leave? This helps you find your purpose, because, you know, at the end of the day, if, you know, you were to leave this world tomorrow, what is it that you want to have achieved that you're known for? What legacy do you want to leave? Leading on to number 3, the third key to becoming an influencer, an innovator, a change maker, and that is your profile. Now, to be someone who's an influencer, you're going to have to raise your profile. You're going to have to get visible. You're going to have to get out there. So for me, your profile is about positioning yourself as a leader and expert in your authentic zone of genius, combined with magnetic branding, marketing, copywriting, press releases, PR, partnerships, and leverage. So this is my jam, baby, from being in the media and magazines. So let me walk you through some of how you can find out how to raise your profile. And the first one I like to do is, what is your brand archetype? Now, brand archetypes, there's about there's 12 different brand archetypes. And if you go and Google brand archetypes, you know, you'll see that they come up. They're all pretty much the same, even though they've been slightly modified over the years. But my brand archetype is, you guessed it, the ruler or queen. Now, please don't think that in the, you know, traditional sense that, you know, for me, it's about standing up and being that leader, right? So I do best when I'm in that position of leadership, you know, as that queen or that ruler. And when you really grill down into each of these different archetypes, you know, it gives you such an opportunity to have a look at the type of branding that would work well for you, the type of words that will work well. For example, if you're a ruler or a queen, words such as visionary, abundance, leader, diamond. You know, you think of brands that are associated with that. You know, I'm thinking of one of my mentors, Gina DeVee, very queen-like, you know, luxurious, high level, opulent. You know, this gives a very instantaneous visual of what a queen type brand would be. So there's different ones like Sage and, you know, I'll let you go and have a Google because it could be a whole webinar on itself. But go and have a look at what your brand archetype would be. There's usually some quizzes online for that. Also, too, what's your zone of genius? You know, just top of your head. What's your zone of genius? Like I just said to you before, you know, profiling. You know, I used to have a magazine called Profile, you know, for that very reason. I'm really good at helping profile other people speaking their message, getting their story clear, aligning the brand with them, everything from the copywriting, getting the PR, all of this kind of thing. That is my zone of genius. I've been doing it for years and I find it fun and easy. I will also say too about, you're raising your profile. When it comes to it, all you need to be doing is look at yourself a few years ago and be marketing to those people. Those people there are the ones that you're going to have the most influence to. So what is the pain point that you were feeling back then a few years ago? To raise your profile, you're going to have to build your list. So marketing to those people, you want to be building that audience, that following, build that list, get their email addresses, get that social media following. For me, I've got a really big email list. That's something that I've been very dedicated to over the years. The funny thing is, though, I keep selling businesses, so I sell my email list and social media, but, I'm usually able to pick it up quite quickly. So go and build that list, so that you have those people who are ready to listen to you. They're ready to engage with you and they're ready to buy from you. That's when you can have the most amount of influence. To raise your profile too, leverage with PR. What I'm talking about here is, get known on TV shows, magazines, podcasts, digital platforms, use other media to help your purpose and to help raise your profile so that you become more and more of that influencer. And the other thing I like to do is actually take control of your own media, like become a media and build your own content platform. So that content platform might be a podcast series. It might be a magazine, whether it's print or digital. It might be your own YouTube TV show. A lot of my clients have nailed this, nailed one platform, and I'll just reiterate, one platform. You're either going to do a TV show or a podcast, right? Not both. Nail one first, and then you can go and do the other, but do one first and do it really well. But if you build your own content platform and your own media, what that means is you've got so much to give that you then become, your profile gets raised purely because you're seen as a go-to expert in an area. So does that make sense? So it might be that you even interview high-profile people. That helps raise your profile. In fact, leverage is the other word that I need to add into here, because, go and leverage off other people's following, all in the name of good and raising your profile so that you can have a bigger influence and impact in the world. And of course, if you want to raise your profile, you're going to have to get visible. Yep. Even when you don't feel like it, you're going to have to get visible. And, that visibility in the world becomes not about you, right? Becomes more about your moonshot and what's important in the world. What's your message that's important in the world? Which leads us on to our fourth point, perform, or public speaking, or videos, getting your message out there. So sharing your message by learning how to speak your voice, command any stage with your energetic influence, shine through video and Facebook Live trainings, and become a magnet to those searching for you or for your answer. Right. So, if I said to you, you have to go and public speak tomorrow, most people would have an absolute meltdown. But what I'm going to say too, that if you want to be an influencer, you need to learn these skills. Now, these are learned skills. So I am a professional tour guide. Like, I learnt the skills. I'm a professional public speaker. I learnt the skills. And then I did lots and lots of practice of both, right? I am also a performer. So I'm, an actor, a dancer, a singer. I've been on stage literally since the age of 3. So being on stage is quite comfortable for me because I've done a lot of it. But these are learned skills. And if you want to have the most amount of impact in the world, you need to learn these skills. look, there I am having a very jolly good time in San Diego. I was speaking in front of 100 plus female entrepreneurs from around the globe. You know, it's not just about getting up on stage and knowing your message and being able to have that physical presence and be able to command the room. It's about the power of video, about being able to be visible on video and know how to light your video, how to do the sound on your video, how to connect with your audience through your voice and through your mannerisms as well. And that obviously leads on to Facebook and Instagram Lives, you know, on podcasts and content marketing platforms. You know, it's a really good skill to have, whether you're going to become an influencer or not, you know, to really gain control over your voice, over your presence, physical presence, over your message, and being able to speak your message very clearly, right? And being able to take this to the point that it's a craft, because when it becomes a craft for you, it means that your audience becomes very relaxed. They don't worry about she's got a lot of ums and ahs going on. You know, allows them to be more engaged in your message and really take inspiration and change from your message. The other area that I teach my clients too is literally public speaking, like getting out there in the real world and public speaking. Online has got such opportunity. However, sometimes just getting out there in person, you are able to speed up the know you, like you, trust you factor in an instant, right? And this is a way that you're able to actually cut through. You know, we were saying before that one of the barriers to becoming an influencer online is the noise and the traffic, and everyone's trying to be louder than each other. Well, going and doing some speaking gigs, like literally face-to-face with people, is a really fabulous and powerful way to become an influencer and to sell programs, right? And there's 3 different types of speaking gigs. Now, when I say to people, do you want to get a speaking gig? They go, great, and how much should I charge? Well, you know what? Sometimes the best model is number 1, which is free. If you really want to get your message out to the masses, don't put barriers. You know, go and do it for free. Go and speak to as many people as you possibly can. And of course, I can teach you how to make that profitable for yourself, because our energy needs to be matched with monetary gains and rewards. And there's nothing wrong with that, because, you know, many of us have got families and loved ones that we'd be preferring to spend our time with. So free speaking gigs can actually be extremely beneficial for you, not just to get your message out, but actually income-wise, especially if you're selling high-ticket offers. So more on that in another training. But number 2, you could actually do your own show. You could actually go and do your own events. A lot of overheads, a lot of, you know, putting things together, and you need a team to support you. So that's not something I recommend starting with unless you're doing sort of low cost, low ticket ones leading on to some higher level ones. So, you know, it might be that you do some meetups, it might be that you do some small workshops, that kind of thing. And then, of course, there's paid speaking gigs where you're like a keynote speaker. Each one of those has really different outcomes and really different methods about getting them, and their different outcomes for what that means for you financially and what it means for you to become the influencer. So if you're starting out, I recommend that you get the runs on the board and go and do as many free public speaking gigs as you can to really get clear on your message, you know, to get feedback from your audience, what resonates with people and what doesn't, and then have a call to action for them to either spread your message, to get on your list, or to take the next step with you. And again, I can do some more training on that another time, because it's a whole facet about becoming an influencer. The next one is being able to persuade people. So learning how to change the mindsets of people who are ready to make change, hear your message, and have them invest in your offerings without hesitation. This is really crucial, because if we are spreading our message everywhere but no one's actually taking action. No one's actually coming on board, giving you their email address, or, you know, spending money with your programs to make change within themselves, then we're really, you know, not making change. So, you know, persuading people isn't about coercing people into doing something that they don't want to. It's actually activating within them the change that they want to make, that sometimes they're not even quite aware of yet until they meet you or listen to or hear what your message is. So it's about how to influence so people take action. Going back to my story before about when I was a tour guide, I was working in a wildlife park and I wrote that white paper on the value of interpretive tourism in wildlife parks. Now, that was a long-term research project that I did over many, many months, and many, you know, hundreds and thousands of people that we interviewed. And my sole aim was to see what action those people were going to take after engaging in a guided tour and learning some education through fun and through experience. And it was something incredible, like 35% of people were going to change their actions at home, become more environmentally friendly, you know, whether it's recycling their rubbish or, you know, watching what they did with their waste and so forth. So it's really quite powerful. So, you know, you can become an influencer in many different aspects, whether it's me as a tour guide or whether it's you with, you know, impacting 1 billion people across the planet. You know, it's also about learning how to sell with authenticity. You know, one of the biggest areas I see with many entrepreneurs is that they'll have a fabulous message, they'll be able to speak it confidently, but as soon as it comes to asking people for money, they start shutting down, going a bit weird, going a bit awkwardly. So it's about learning how to sell from a place of authenticity that you know is helping someone else, that you truly believe that the programs or offerings that you're putting out there, whether it's products or services, is actually going to be helping people for the greater good. And that comes down to understanding what your buyer's pain versus pleasure is. Now, you may have heard of this concept before. So think about it this way, that there's pain island. Now, this is where your client currently is. They're on the island of pain. They're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, in fear about their money, or they're, you know, unable to get clear on the message. You know, that could be a pain for them. Their pain could be that they're overweight and stuck in unhealthy habits. That's their pain for them. And then over yonder is this magical island called Pleasure Island. And it's full of coconuts and water and cocktails and deck chairs and, you know, people fanning you. It's Pleasure Island. So, you know, it's where they want to be. That's their desired island to be. But there's a really big ocean in between, and they've got no boat to get there. So you need to become their boat to get from Pain Island to Pleasure Island. And that boat is basically, you can write down a list of what it is that you actually do, what it is that you do, and the outcome and benefit of what you do for them. You know, that's when you're able to sell with authenticity. If you can really sink into that, believe that, and know it works for people, that's when you can sell with complete transparency and authenticity. And that's when you can get on stage and sell it from stage or video, you know, without that ickiness, without starting to have your voice change, you know, in its tone and pitch, you know, when you really truly align to what it is that you're actually selling them, all for the greater good, right? So always for the greater good. And, you know, another way of being able to persuade people is going back to your legacy, your mission, your purpose, your moonshot, you know, communicating that with people. What is it that you're here to do, and having people get on board with you. And if they're not on board, they're never going to be, right? They might hear it from someone else and be on board with them, and that is fine. That is not who you're meant to serve. But think always and go back to, what is your legacy and what message do you want to communicate to people? That then leaves us on to profit, right? Talking about selling. So I want you to build your business model for maximum profit and minimal time so that you can expand and influence from a place of worthiness so you serve yours and your clients' highest good, right? So basically saying that you deserve to have an abundance of wealth so that you can impact more people, right? So it's simple as that. I remember hearing this from one of my mentors that, we were doing a lot of wealth consciousness training, and, when she really grilled into me that I absolutely deserve to earn a wealth of income, 6 figures, 7 figures and above. I deserve that because then I can impact and influence more people. Think about it this way. The more people, the more money you have, the more that you can give back. It's the most of, charitable money comes from the wealthiest people in the world, right? They've got more to give. And, irrespective of what many of us may or may not think about what it takes to be wealthy and what sort of person you are, most often than not, those people give back. You think about the Richard Bransons of the world, they give back. So would you like to give back? Would you like to have an abundance of wealth and income for yourself so that you can impact more people? I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. I know it is for me. And to do that, if you're reasonably early on in your entrepreneurial journey in your business, I want you to investigate the power of high-ticket offerings, right? Now, high-ticket offerings are how I have built my coaching business, and even my magazine business as well. I have built it in such a way that I'm able to charge good prices and give huge value, right? So it means that my time is used wisely because I am a mum. I've got my 2 young children that it is family first for me. That's one of my core values, to give, to give love and, be there literally with time and energy and effort with my family first and foremost. And then also for my clients as well. So I find that, there is such power in my clients having skin in the game, with that high ticket pricing, that they get pulled towards something. I really pull them up, with the amount of investment that they make in themselves, puts their skin in the game, makes it so that they've got to show up and they've got to make the most of this. And that's why my clients, leave their corporate careers, because they can, they go and, travel around the world because they can. They go and live lives that are full of abundance and time and joy and love and happiness, just like I get to. And it's also about owning your worth. So when we're talking about profit, we need to be really sure that we're actually valuing ourselves. I see beautiful people like healers and light workers who are often giving, and their energy is going out, but nothing's getting put back in their bucket. So unfortunately, some of them get sick or can't serve to their highest ability, or don't make the massive influence that they really are called to do in the world because they're not charging enough for their services. Literally, money is just energy. We are deserving to have money. Money just is the societal form of getting paid, so to speak. These days it's not so much about chickens or camels, and if it was, go and have a huge plethora of chickens and camels, but it is money. So you deserve to have an abundance of wealth, and if you are having funny feelings about that, go and do some wealth consciousness. Go and read Think and Grow Rich every day. Go and meditate on that. Go and journal about it. Go and do hypnosis on wealth consciousness. This is an area that I've got a whole training on this, by the way. I've got a 5-day video series on wealth consciousness about owning your worth. Private message me and I'll give you the link to that, because it's really crucial that you have a profitable business. It is so crucial because you can do more in the world. And it's about doing business in the simplest way to have the maximum impact. Again, with entrepreneurs, I see them especially women, look, doing so many different things. And it's like, I heard Gary Vee say something about, it's about being pregnant with 9 things, half pregnant with 9 things, rather than being, fully going to labor with one. Try and keep things simple. I was talking to one of my clients this morning about, just honing everything straight down into a TV show. She's got an online YouTube TV show. Keep it all there, hone it down, keep that message so clear. She's got a newborn baby, she doesn't have a huge amount of extra time to be doing all these extra things, which just take up her energy. So get crystal clear and focused on the simplest business model to have the highest impact monetary-wise for you and the highest impact to other people. And it's all about leveraging your time. In my business, we're actually setting up quite a few passive income streams to my business that do take time to get off the ground. It's not as if they'll be making millions of dollars tomorrow, but it's about setting the foundations now to really leverage my time so I can help you become that influencer you were born to be. And this one I love. Number 7 is power. The power is within you. The power is in your hands. Understand the brilliance of your inner power and connection to the universe to transcend beyond ordinary, to become iconic and an influencer. All right? To transcend beyond ordinary, to become iconic and an influencer. What I'm going to say about this is that I have learned this the hard way. Let's put it this way. I've finally learned the lesson that the power is within. It is not external. It is not in another webinar. It is not in another opt-in. It's not another download. It's not in another person. It is within ourselves. And when we truly go within ourselves, we know that we are one. Therefore, we are the universe, we are spirit, we are God, whatever your belief or faith is. And I love this from Gabrielle Bernstein, and I refer on that book, The Universe Has Got Your Back. I refer on it daily. There's always a page that'll jump out to me that brings me back to knowing that I do have the power, I do have the conscious choice to change everything and have my outer reality reflect what my inner reality is, and knowing that the universe has got your back. These 3 words, I've had to, along the way, learn these, which are trust, believe, and surrender. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Still learning that one, and that's very okay. But trusting that the universe literally does have your back. When you are so in tune with your message, your purpose, your moonshot, your mission, trust that the universe has got your back. Trust that the universe will conspire to help you do what you need to do and put opportunities in front of you when you need them, and even when you don't think you need them, to help you become that influencer. The universe wants you to find that reason why you're here on earth, right? The universe basically, created you in your human form for the greater good of the world. The universe is here for you. Believe that. When you really, truly believe that and have faith in that, you can overcome anything. You can overcome your visibility issues, your fear of public speaking, your fear of Facebook Lives. You can overcome even non-clarity, of what you're here to do. You can go within, you can trust your intuition. It's so important that you trust and believe. And sometimes you need to surrender and then surrender some more. For me, when I started to go a little bit out of alignment, and what I mean by that is, like, often we're in ease and grace and flow of our business, and everything's happening and we're happy and the money's flowing, the clients are flowing, and we're, having a great time and we're making real impact in the world. And then something happens and we're not really making that impact anymore, or the money shuts off, or it's just not feeling good anymore. Often that is because either we've gone off track a little bit, or there's something greater for us. You know, there's something bigger that we need to be stepping up to. And the only way we're often alerted to that is by the universe giving us signs, you know. And for me, it's not an unfortunate, but, you know, this is how it plays out. It's usually money, right? I can go from making, you know, $15,000 one week to nothing, nada, you know, and instantly I'm like, ooh, what's going on here? Where am I out of alignment? Where am I not playing big? You know, that's one of my biggest areas. I'll say, where am I not playing big? I find when I start playing small, so I might not be as visible, I might be, you know, retreating inwards, taking like the super comfy route for a while. Maybe I'm just working from home in the tracky pants, you know, for a little while. You know, when I'm starting to not play big, that's when the money tap turns off. So for other people, it might relationships change, or for some people it might be health. Another of my mentor Gina DeVee would say that there's 3 schools that we all come from. You either come from the school of money, the school of health, or the school of love. Well, I'm certainly from the school of money, and it's brilliant. You know, at the time doesn't feel so brilliant, but for me there's always a deep lesson that came not that long ago, that I had to surrender and surrender and surrender some more. What is the lesson? What is the lesson? What is the lesson? All right, what is the lesson? And it was about me doing this. And it was about me stepping up to the influencer that I have already been all my life, and owning that and acknowledging that, you know, I have influenced thousands of people, you know, whether it's through my magazines, whether it's through my coaching, whether it's through being a tour guide for, you know, 10 years, you know, whether it's, you know, there's so many thousands and thousands of people that I've impacted and inspired and taught to be better people on this world. So it was then about me stepping up to teach you about this. So, you know that if you're having troubles in the love, money, or health department, take a look and surrender to what the message is for you. And I want to ask you, now that we've gone through my 7 steps to you becoming an influencer, an innovator, and a change maker, is, should you become an influencer? Should you become an influencer? So I'm going to ask you these questions. And if you say yes to any of the following, your calling is to become an influencer. You have a message to share with the world. You get fired up over your mission. You feel called to do something bigger than you. You want to be known for something great. You have a story to tell that others can learn from. And you feel scared as hell to step up and share your message. So what do you think? Should you become an influencer? Did you say yes to any of those? And look, I can guarantee you probably said yes to at least 2 or 3 of those, because you're here on this training. So that's great. So should you become an influencer? Yes. And I'll tell you what, the world needs to hear your message. Each and every one of us, you have a message, even if you're not quite clear on it right now. You're put on this earth for a message and to share it with others. So what are you going to do about it? I'm just going to run you through a couple of my beautiful clients who are achieving massive, massive results. And one is gorgeous Tamara Wrigley. Now, when Tamara first came to me for coaching, she had done some TV presenting courses. You know, she's extremely fabulous on camera. She's great, you know, in the photo department. She's pretty gorgeous as well, which helps. So she had a lot going on for her, but she really wanted to get her message out to the world, you know, get on TV or be a presenter. And that is, you know, she wanted to, at the end of the day, inspire other women to lead their own success. Like, so she's kind of like me. She wants other people to be influencers. And so what we did is we said, you know what, you need to lead by example. You need to become the influencer so that you can inspire other people to be it, right? So she's not necessarily like me, like a coach. So she's not necessarily going to train and teach people this, but she's going to inspire them. And through the people that then she interviews, she'll also help to inspire, educate, and lead other people. So she started up an online TV show called iStyle TV. She was, into fashion, had a lot of contacts in that world, and that was great. But for her, it ended up not quite being powerful enough. So she changed to a second show, and it's called The Wine O'Clock Show. Now, it's got a fun, cute name, The Wine O'Clock Show. It's filmed on a Friday afternoon, and they all share a glass of wine. But it's really about people getting through their past their comfort zones with her on camera and getting very real and raw and really opening up. And she has these really amazing in-depth interviews, which are also a heck of a lot of fun. There's some real, funny jokes, and they have this little cute, I have never ever, etc. Anyway, it's really fun. You've got to go watch the show. But she's now gotten herself to a point that she's a major influencer here in Australia. So her show gets over 120,000 views per episode and over 1 million views per season. Now, that's all online. She travels Australia. She interviews celebrities, high-profile people. She walks the red carpet. She goes to all of the, big awards nights. She gets, advertisers who pay her money to be featured on her show. She gets to, live a fabulous, glamorous life as well, all the while inspiring people through sharing other people's stories. It's pretty sensational. So, big things for Tamara. And if you haven't gone and seen the show, go and Google The Wine O'Clock Show. She's pretty amazing. Another one of my gorgeous clients, we've been working together for the last 12 months, and Melissa Lenardin, she's an interior designer, and she literally had been working 4 days a week in her job as an interior designer for a company. And we finally got her out on her own just last week. So she's fully fledged in her own business. And look, how is this, right? So she only had 1 day a week to work on her own business. And, 12 months later, she's out of it. So think about that. It's not even 52, like how many weeks in the year? 52. So probably 50 days of the year that she's had to work on her business, right? And she's now making 5-figure months and out there on her own. But not only that, she's now filming the pilot for her own TV show that will be a national TV network has asked for that pilot to be shown to them. And she's got a couple other gigs as well, and got her own TV show called Design Talk TV. Now, she is making huge headway in her industry very, very quickly because she got very clear on her message. She worked out who her audience was. She got over any visibility issues she has. We, got her branding to the point that it was just so crystal clear, so smick, so high end. And instantly she's making huge waves in not just her own lives, but other people's. So look, she's a design interior. So for her mission is about people living in the most beautiful homes that are filled with love, so that they can, have that sanctuary that they can go home to, and that makes them better people, feel good, energy, chi, all of the works, So this is the kind of results that people get when they decide to become an influencer, when they really decide to play full out, So watch for Melissa, huge, big things happening with her. So I want to ask you, do you want to become our next iconic influencer like Melissa, like Tamara, like many of my other clients? It's time for you to speak your message, become a change maker, and be known in the world. So I just want you to picture this for a moment, even if you close your eyes. I want you to imagine speaking on stages globally and sharing your message. I want you to imagine being featured in media, TV, radio, magazines, online, like my clients have been, like Melissa, for example, with Tamara, many other clients. I want you to feel so aligned and alive with your purpose. I want you to imagine being able to make incredible income from your calling. And I want you to imagine making a huge impact in the world and making real change, right? And I want you to imagine being a role model for others and your family, and of course yourself. I want you to realize your moonshot vision. So feel into that, picture it, imagine it, feel into it. What would it be like to be realizing your moonshot vision? Think about the greatest version of you and being that influencer and having fun while you're doing it. Just imagine that. Well, I'm going to tell you now that you can be the next iconic influencer if you're prepared to do these things. Step up. Look, it's all, we often play small. It's one thing to say I want to be an influencer, but the other thing to actually step up and do something about it, and take action, commit to playing big and to move away from your ego to a place of love. What I mean by that is it's not about the gold lame, right? So the gold lame, my husband laughs at me all the time. When I was in magazines, I got lots of free stuff and, lovely events and champagne and cannabis. That was the gold lame, the glamorous stuff behind it. But a lot of that is placed on ego, like that's just feeding our ego. When you come from a place of it's not about you, it's about the purpose, that is when you can become an iconic influencer. And I say iconic influencer because, someone who is known for something greater than themselves, whose legend lives on, right? And again, not from a place of ego, but about having real impact and real change. Well, I'm telling you that your opportunity is today. Remember I was saying before that my money tap turned off when I was playing small, and once I stood into the influencer I am and have been and will be, that is when my purpose, my calling has pulled me up again to be that bigger version of me. So this is what I have now created for you, and it's called the Iconic Empires Academy. This academy is pretty much everything that I have learnt since 3 years old of standing on stage dressed as a chicken in my first ever calisthenics concert. And then along the way of becoming a biologist and a teacher and a professional tour guide and a ad rep in magazines, and then becoming the publication manager in magazines, and then becoming the editor in magazines, then becoming an author and a blogger and a radio show host and a public speaker, and profiling people across the world and interviewing them and becoming a success coach. All of these combined into one academy that is launching now to take place through 2018 to walk a small number of women through becoming an influencer, an innovator, and a change maker. So we'll be doing the 7 powerful principles. We'll be doing 1, Purify, 2, Purpose, 3, raising your profile, 4, teaching you to perform, 5, teaching you to persuade and sell, 6, showing you a simplistic business model that gives you the most power to make the most amount of income, and having inner power and showing you how you can harness that inner power. So this is high level support to take you from unknown to iconic. So in my Iconic Empires Academy, we will be giving you personalized coaching. So for myself and the team, it is a very high vibe tribe that will be involved in this Iconic Empires Academy. So whether it's from my team and the people involved in it. So it's not open to everyone, this by application only. Really importantly, there'll be in-person retreats. I know there's so many online programs and, group coaching programs, but it's the in-person, face-to-face in a small environment with myself and the team that really makes the transformation. It's not just about throwing information at you, it's you actually transforming. It's for you going from a person who, perhaps isn't that sure of themselves, is not that clear on what your message is. It's that person who tends to play a little bit small, perhaps your bank account doesn't look that big, it's taking you from that person all the way to the end, 9 months later, to being transformed into someone who is crystal clear on their message, knows how to speak their message, is crystal clear on their branding around that, is able to get on any stage and video and speak that message so clearly that people are captivated by you, that they follow you, and that they buy from you, that you're able to create programs and content that gives you profits that enable you to do more in the world, really getting you to that 6-figure or plus environment. Now, this is, I will say too, it's not really for the newbie, right? You can't come in and not even know how to be a coach or a consultant or have a product or a service. You need to already have that part, but we will transform that business and you into becoming an influencer through all of these 7 steps. Now, we've gone through these 7 steps quite quickly on this training today, but each of these is so in depth, and that's why it's a 9-month program. So we can not only work on, one of these steps a month, but also have time and space to be able to deal with all of the inner healing that needs to be done as well along the way. Also within this, you'll get workbooks, you'll get video trainings for me that you can watch at any time and rewatch them. You will get private attention from me personally. You will get my little black book of contacts too. And, my current clients are benefiting from this. I'm able to get them interviews on, podcasts, global podcast series, or into magazines, or, my friend, or this contact that I've had, or this PR person. My years and years and years of being in media, not just from the media side, but having very high profile, people in my speed dial, and being able to give those contacts straight to you. And of course, my secrets to leverage. This is learning the exact methods I use for myself, my clients, and what I've learned from high profile people to become an influencer and make positive change in the world. Plus, this is the exciting thing, we also have our own media platform to kickstart your influencer journey. So we're talking about one of the keys is to have your own media, and guess what? That's what I have. So I have the gorgeous Iconic Empires digital magazine platform. So we get thousands and thousands of followers onto our website, onto our email list and our social media. And here we feature you. This is an opportunity where you can actually share out your knowledge to my audience that I have built and continue to build. And we'll also do interviews on you. So it's like you get instant PR and leverage for yourself just by joining my tribe with the Iconic Empires Academy. Not only that, we are looking at launching a print magazine some stage in 2018. I do say some stage because magazines do take a huge amount of effort, a huge amount of time, and a huge amount of money. But I've done it before many, many times. And we're really looking forward to getting this print publication together so that we can actually have more impact in the world. So our mission behind that magazine is to profile leaders, influencers, and change makers whose purpose is to awaken the world with a unique and authentic message to make massive global change. We are so excited about this project. And, we do this already with our digital magazine, but we want to see this publication in every airport, in every supermarket, in every news agency, not just in Australia, but globally as well. Because traditional media like a magazine reaches the masses, right? And if you really want to become an influencer, you need to reach the masses. You don't necessarily just want to reach the people who've already made change, who are already on the train. You want to change people's minds. You want to awaken them. And, I know how to do magazines. I know how to do very high-end, beautiful, gorgeous magazines that, female entrepreneurs will fall in love with and drool over. And then within those pages, we'll be able to feature people like you to share your message. So this is actually not about me. The magazine is actually me it's where I've sat best in the world is profiling other people, and vicariously that's how I become that change maker and influencer. So by joining Iconic Empires Academy, we will feature you in our print magazine that is global. So by joining this academy, we'll feature you in our both the print and the digital platform to a value of PR worth $20,000. Now, PR is basically priceless, you know, the influence and impact that you can get because it's a third-party endorsement. You don't have to do anything. We interview you, you know, for the print magazine, we'll do a photo shoot. You know, I'll craft your story. I'll personally interview you. We'll get that message across, and we'll then be promoting back to your cause as well. So this is huge, you know. Look, if you were to buy that advertising in magazines, this is what it's going to cost you, 20 grand, right? So massive, massive. Look, and, you know, by the way, that's not the price of the program. That's just a bonus for you by joining the Iconic Empires Academy. We do have 2 levels of the academy because I understand that, you know, I don't want to make the cost prohibitive. So for some people, you'll just choose to have the group option, which is no private time with me. You still get full access to me through the calls and, you know, but it's just not in a private sense. But if you upgrade to our elite level, I will personally coach you through all of those steps to becoming an iconic influencer. This is high level coaching. I've been a professional business coach and success coach for over 5 years, and it's valued at least $25,000 if you were to take that option up alone. And there is a bonus. Who's this hot looking guy? Well, this hot looking guy is actually my husband, Rowan Howard. We actually have a bonus speaker training. It's an in-person 3-day retreat at my personal luxury studio on the glorious Sunshine Coast, Queensland, Australia. Now, between Rowan and myself, with our, you know, funnily enough, we've probably got between us nearly 70 years or more of on-stage experience in both acting, singing, dancing, drama, theatre, TV, radio, public speaking, the works. We'll actually be doing a masterclass with Rowan, so he'll be joining me. And he is an award-winning actor, film producer, you know, trod on stages across Australia for many, many years since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. He is a professional opera singer as well. So he will be teaching you a masterclass in stage performance, video setup, you know, literally including lighting, sound, the works, and voice technique on this 3-day retreat. How super cool is that? So super fun, super fun. I will teach you how to public speak as well, and also how to sell from stage. Look, you know, I've put a value of $5,000. Look, it's honestly, it's more than that, but, you know, I had to pull something out of the air. It's value of $5,000 at least. Look, it's not including airfares and accommodation because it's 3 days of our time. You know, we'll be throwing meals at you as well. You know, it's all inclusive. And you're going to walk away from that 3-day retreat literally being able to be a public speaker, literally being able to nail your videos, your messaging. You know, we're going to train you, you know, hours and hours of you getting up on that stage and practice, and us critiquing. I know it may sound scary, but you're going to come out of there being a bloody professional speaker. Have no doubt about that. As a bonus with this course, the Academy, you're going to get access to my Lifestyle and Business Academy program. Now, this is an academy program I ran for newbie coaches and consultants at the start of 2017. And it's like from ground up, how to sell high ticket coaching, how to do discovery calls, how to do your marketing, wealth consciousness, the works. But I always think that even if you already have a business, this training is absolutely invaluable. It's literally how I started my coaching business from scratch to 6 figures in a year. And how I continually use it. It's the same practices I still use today in how I sell my programs. You'll also get access to my Build Your Magazine Empire online course. That one's valued at nearly $1,000. This one, even if you're not going to do a magazine, it could be a blog, and it can even translate to TV show, podcast, etc. I walk you through how to pick your niche, craft your brand, craft the messaging, name it, market it, get PR, like the works, It's literally all of my years of magazine experience. So, the value of both of those programs is, over $4,000 just in those bonuses. Now, on that 3-day retreat, my husband and I, Rowan, we're even going to film and edit your own stage show reel so you can use it to gain more speaking gigs, TV interviews, presenting work, or even your own TV show. And again, value, look, $2,000, probably more, like what you gain out of that. This is huge. So on that 3-day retreat, you must attend that retreat to receive this bonus. We will film you. And Rowan is a film producer, so he'll actually craft it and edit it all together for you, which is hours and hours of work. So you've got to attend that live workshop in the Sunshine Coast, Australia, to receive that. Now, the total iconic Empires Academy value is over $56,000. And today it's for $5. No. And I want to remind you of why it's important to become an influencer. So, it's about earning great money. Sure, absolutely. Earn 6 to 7 plus figures, command high ticket prices, become a powerful leader, have an endless supply of clients, and hallelujah, wouldn't that be lovely? Inspire others to make change, be known for something greater than you, be part of global conscious awakening, work less, earn more so that you can give back more in the world, start living that dream life, that life that inspires you to make a difference to yourself, your family, and to others. So again, that total academy value is over $56,000. But I'm going to say this is not for everybody, right? So to actually find out how much this costs and to find out if you're right for it, you actually have to book a call with me, right? I want to personally interview you to see what it is that you're here to do in the world, or how we can get you clear on that, and literally see if you're the right person to step up, play big, and join this academy. I, in the past, have taken on clients who, maybe just for the money, like, I don't, let's be true about it. Sometimes we take clients for the money. This is not about the money. I desire you to actually make massive transformation over this 9-month period, right? And I am invested that you have this change. Like it's my legacy, my moonshot that you do this. This is my impacting 1 billion people that you do this. So I need to make sure that you're going to be a person who takes massive action. Now, don't get worried about the pricing. I've actually made it quite affordable if you want to do the group option. And obviously, if you want to upgrade to the elite level, there is a higher cost because you will be getting literally high-level personalized coaching and support from me and private access to me on, a day-to-day basis. Can I just say that? So you need to book a clarifying call to see if the academy is right for you. So what I want you to next do is there will be a link down below in the bio. But before you do that, there is a bonus for those people who take on the elite level, and that is the Power and Purify retreat. Now, I love a retreat. Again, it's that transformational experience. So this is completely different to that 3-day masterclass that my husband and I will be running for you on the Sunshine Coast. This Power and Purify retreat will be in the second half of the 9-month program. The first one will be in the first couple of months of the program. You really must attend that one. This second one is optional, but it's for the elite people. Other people can actually buy into this, but we'll be capping the numbers at 10. The Power and Purify retreat will be a luxury hinterland accommodation here on the Sunshine Coast. We will be doing daily meditation sessions, daily yoga sessions. And I'm actually bringing in a beautiful expert for that. And she's got a huge high-profile business herself. She's an influencer too. So we'll be releasing more details on her soon. We'll be doing an essential oils workshop. We will be diving into emotional clearing sessions. We'll be having moonshot sessions, really grilling down into what is your huge impact that you can have here on the world and actually mapping that out for you. We'll be having beautiful organic local produce. We'll be in the Sunshine Coast countryside where we'll be taking waterfall and rainforest walks. And, this is really experiential, and it's about a spiritual retreat. It's about diving in so that you can purify yourself and find that inner power to become that huge influencer in the world that I know that you're here to be. It includes 3 beautiful nights accommodation and most of your meals, and we'll be having those special guests, as I said. So that is a bonus if you choose to go the elite level, and the others can actually buy into that as well. Now, if you book today, so if we jump on that call and you book in, so you've got to book that orientation call today. If you book in and you actually choose to go ahead, you do get immediate access into our orientation module. So it's on a membership site. You'll actually get membership bonus access to those programs, the Lifestyle and Business Academy, which is mammoth in itself, can I just say. It's a 4-month program with fortnightly modules plus an orientation session. You also get to start planning and setting yourself up for success, because we start at the end of January. I think it's the 22nd of January we actually kick off this program. So the sooner you get in, the sooner you actually get access to me and all of this content, so you can actually start now. You'll get, I've got a beautiful future self-guided meditation. I've got hypnosis in there, lots of free resources. You will get joined into our private Facebook group. And each week I will actually jump in live and do a live Q&A. So we're doing some training in there and, really getting you started already. Plus, you'll actually get a bonus 60-minute sign-on session with me privately. So that's for people who do jump on, grab that clarifying call if we go through the interview process, and yes, you are deemed to be a perfect fit for the Academy, and vice versa. If you feel it's a perfect fit for you and you sign up, this is what you'll get access to straight away. So I say, dare yourself to go where you have only dreamt of going. It's time to step into the greatness within and speak your message. So if this is calling to you, real stirring, just book the session. I'm not asking you to sign your life away. You need to know, like, and trust me and believe in me, and vice versa. This is a partnership, a team within us. And I want you to be the right fit for you and for me for the Academy for next year. So jump on, grab a clarifying call, check me out on those social media handles there. But know that there's never been a better time or opportunity for you to become an influencer, an innovator, and a change maker for the future. Find out what you're really made of. Is it time that you stepped up to play big in the world? If so, jump on, grab a clarifying call with me to find out more about Iconic Empires Academy. And I wish you the best in finding and reaching your moonshot. Thanks for joining me today.